OpenAI just released the GPT Store to the public, so we now have the ability to actually create GPTs by ourselves, either using the GPT builder or the configure section, and uploading it publicly for people to use. But why is this important, and how can this help you earn money? Well, OpenAI actually announced that in Q1 they are opening a revenue program. So based on how many engagements your GPTs that you create get from the GPT Store, you will be paid in return. And we're not exactly sure on how much, but we do know that step one is you need to create a GPT and you need to get engagement. So how can we do that? Well, I've developed a 7-step system in order to create a functional GPT that's actually going to work. And I've provided this as a resource down in the description for free. You can copy and paste all of the prompts that I have and follow along this tutorial in order to create a successful, unique GPT that stands out from the crowd so that when OpenAI releases their revenue program, you have a great foundation and a head start on other users who are creating GPTs using the average GPT builder or the configure section on their own. Now I'm about to walk you through my 7-step process for creating a unique, successful GPT that will sell once OpenAI releases this revenue program. But first, I have something I want to go over with you real quick. If you love ChatGPT and you want to learn it even more in depth, or you want to learn it start to finish, if you are a new user and you don't really know what ChatGPT even is right now, then I highly suggest joining my ChatGPT Mastery course. But this isn't only a course. What we have here is a community, so people can share their GPTs in order to get initial traffic to that GPT, so it's poised for better growth when it's on the GPT Store. People can upload their GPTs here. You don't only have the ability to upload your GPTs here, but you have the ability to learn how to build a GPT in depth. You have over an hour of footage from me to you describing in depth how to create GPTs from start to finish. This is just one section of the course, but as you can see, we have many different modules on many different subjects. So if that's something that interests you, getting an interactive community and getting these custom modules on how to build GPTs, these are modules that I'm not uploading on YouTube, then I highly recommend joining my ChatGPT Mastery group and community. It will be beneficial to you in your GPT creation process and also getting initial traffic to your GPT when sharing it in the group, having the group users use each other's GPTs. We're working together as a community in this ChatGPT Mastery group in order to elevate our GPTs and get them off the ground. That's the goal, that's the plan. I'll leave a link in the description or the top pinned comment if this is something that interests you. Now, let's dive into my 7-step process for creating a successful GPT with the prompt templates. So in order to create GPTs that sell, this is my 7-step process. Number 1, find untapped ideas from existing problems. So we don't just want to find problems that people don't need solved because you won't get any engagement. People will not use your GPT if it's just a problem that doesn't need solved. Now you could argue that you can use an entertainment GPT that people just go to get entertained. That's for a different video, but you do have the ability to do that. But what we really want to focus on is we want to focus on the problems of the people. We can be like business owners or entrepreneurs, and we need to solve problems that exist. But finding the problem is just the first step of the process. Next, we need to be able to generate and refine instructions, otherwise known as solutions. And instructions are the back end of your GPT. This is how the GPT is running. And those solutions can't be average, right? We can find popular problems, but we cannot have average solutions. We need to find unique ways of helping users and ways that will keep them on your GPT, keep them coming back to your GPT in order to solve their problems. And we can do this by providing instructions to ChatGPT and special prompts that help generate those unique solutions based on the existing problems. I am going to walk you through this, and I have prompts for each of these steps, but I'm kind of just going through this general list of ideas to keep in mind if you do want to stray away from this video and start creating GPTs on your own. These are very, very important things to keep in mind because you have to think of your GPT as a product. You are selling your product in the form of a GPT. What's your audience retention looking like on your GPT? How many times can you get users to interact and keep coming back to your GPT? These are specific things that we need to focus on. And number 3, we need to create your name, description, and picture. This is going to be important because this is your branding for your GPT. This is going to be the first thing people see. And usually people start with this. They say, okay, I'm going to create a name, description, and picture, and then I'm going to get into finding my problem and creating my solutions. But I really like to find the solutions first, find the untapped ideas, the problems that people are dealing with, and then I like to develop that paradigm or that system with my custom instructions, and then I like to create the name, description, and picture after the base foundation of this GPT has been built. So these 3 things up top are the things I have prompts for, and I'm going to be leaving this doc down in the description. If you'd like to edit this doc, what you can do is you can head up to File and make a copy. Don't request edit access because I won't give it to you. Just go up to here and hit make a copy, and then you'll be able to have a copy of this in your Google Docs, and you'll be able to edit that on your own. And then these next 4 are topics that we are going to be in the back end of the GPT for, things that I don't necessarily have prompts for, but actions or requirements or steps you need to take when configuring your GPT, or optional steps. For example, we do not need to add knowledge or actions to our GPT in order to have it be successful, but that's something you can definitely do on your own time. I'm going to go through that in the future. Testing and publishing your GPT, very important step if you want to get it on the GPT Store. Growing your GPT, so how are you going to actually get initial traffic to your GPT? What social medias are you going to upload it to? Because I believe that will be a huge factor in getting your GPT ranked. It needs some initial traffic. And then I'm going to go over some essential requirements to keep in mind. Now that you have a good idea of how my system runs and the things that I'm thinking about when creating GPTs that actually sell and that actually make money, that keep your audience retention high, that keep the people coming back in order to use this GPT again, now that you know my system and all of these things that I'm sharing with you, let's actually dive into the sequence. Let's dive into step 1 and get generating our GPT with ChatGPT. This is the beautiful power of using ChatGPT, is that we are creating a custom version of ChatGPT on ChatGPT, right? We can use this in order to make money, very powerful tool, so let's dive right into it. Now this is all on the same Google Doc, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out here, and then I'm going to scroll down to step 1. And this is the prompt that's going to help you find untapped ideas. As you notice, there's no custom selections in here, so you can't input any of your own information into this prompt. You can if you want to. You can revise this prompt all you want, but this is a prompt in order to get good popular problems that fall into the 7 categories in the GPT Store. So let me show you the 7 categories of the GPT Store real quick. When you go to Explore GPTs, what you'll see up top is these 7 categories, right? DALL-E, writing, productivity, research and analysis, programming, education, and lifestyle. Now, if we want to create a good GPT that gets within one of these categories when you hit see more, and you want to get within this top 12, then you're going to need to target these categories with your problems. You don't really want to stray away from these categories, right? I mean, people can search you, and you can find your GPT through public searches, but what we really want to do is we want to fall within one of these categories, because these are the main problems that people are going to be coming to. People want lifestyle stuff, they'll click on lifestyle, right? And then they'll start doing some lifestyle GPT search. Or if they want research and analysis, they'll go there. These are the categories that you want to fall into. So that's what this prompt is based off of. And that's why I don't really have any customizable selections in here where you input your own information, because this is a very general prompt that helps get some ideas off the ground. So in order to use this prompt, all you have to do is you have to copy and paste it into ChatGPT. I'm going to close my sidebar. I'm going to paste it in. Now, as you can see down at my prompt bar, I have that entire prompt pasted in here just like that. I'm making this process as simple as possible for you, so you don't have to go through the struggle of finding your ideas. All you have to do is copy and paste my prompts, and it gets you a good foundational start on your GPT. I'm going to send off that message, and then ChatGPT is going to start creating these ideas for problems that people are dealing with in each category, and these are going to be unique ideas as well. Now we're going to generate unique ideas for existing problems and also unique solutions to those problems. But right now we are just getting the problems generated, right? We're just getting those unique ideas generated in order to get our brain flowing on which direction we want to start to go. So as you can see, midway through the programming category, what it did was it stopped at number 6. That's just because the token limit ran out of GPT-4. So what I can do is I can hit continue generating, and then it will continue to go through that list and finish out these category ideas. And just like that, ChatGPT is done generating 15 problems for each category. So we now have 105 ideas that we get to choose from. So the next step is to go in here and find something that you would enjoy making a GPT about, something that you're semi-passionate about, or it doesn't even have to be something you're passionate about, but just something that you think would perform very well based on your intuition, or something that you would like to create. I'm going to go through here and I'm going to find something that I like. And as I've been looking through here, I think I want to do the focus enhancer in the productivity section. I really like everything focus. I like developing plans for focus. It's something that when I'm refining my instructions in the back end of ChatGPT that I'll be good at. It's something I enjoy. It's something that I think people need more help with as well, is getting focus tips in order to improve concentration. So This is what I'm going to be building my GPT around, is the focus enhancer. So then when you have what you want to do and what you want to build a GPT around, you have your problem selected. Next, it's time to create solutions for that problem. So this is going to be where we go back to this Google Doc and we scroll down to step 2, create unique solutions. And what you'll notice is that we have 2 prompts here. One very large prompt and another smaller prompt. Anytime you see information highlighted in yellow, that's where you have to input specific information. So I'll show you that example after I paste in this prompt. But yeah, the next step is to copy this first prompt of step 2 after you have your problem selected, and then head back over to ChatGPT. And the goal is to stay in the same chat thread that you've developed this list in, right? We need to stay in this same chat thread so ChatGPT has knowledge on our process of building this GPT. It's very important that you stay in the same chat thread when doing all of these prompts. I'm going to paste that in. And like I said earlier, these yellow sections are where you want to paste in your own data. So I want to make a GPT based on problem you've selected. If you just sent that off, that'd be kind of weird. So you need to input the problem that you selected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up to that problem that I selected, and it was under productivity. And since I selected focus enhancer, all I'm going to do now is copy the focus enhancer, the entire thing. Focus enhancer offer tips to improve concentration. I'm going to copy that entire line right there, and then I'm going to paste it in my prompt bar where it says problem you've selected in brackets. I'm going to paste in my problem I've selected. So I want to make a GPT based on focus enhancer, offer tips to improve concentration. And then I can send off this prompt. This prompt is ready to go since that was the only information that I needed to input. And what this prompt is going to do is it's going to create 10 strong and unique ways of solving this problem that will be helpful to the user. So it's going to create those unique solutions to an existing big problem. Because it's important that we select a problem that's huge, right? We need a large audience to want to come to this GPT. But after we've selected that problem, we need a unique solution. So it's not just like every other solution that's on the market. So that's what we're developing right now, those unique solutions to this big problem with a prompt in ChatGPT. It's quite amazing, this workflow, and I hope you're following along. So now I'll send off this prompt so you can see how it generates these solutions. Okay, so we have our information in here, and now I'm going to send off this message within the same chat thread, keep in mind. It's very important that you stay within this chat thread because it's developing and gaining an understanding for what you are creating through all of these prompts that you're sending off. Each prompt is a step in the story, and it's important that you keep the story going within the same chat thread. And just like that, the solutions have been generated for the focus enhancer. It gives me 10 unique solutions for basically GPT instruction ideas. So this is going to be the start of our custom instructions for the GPT. And if you aren't following along or you don't know what I'm talking about when I say custom instructions for a GPT, I'll show you real quick. So if I head up here to my GPTs and I go to a custom GPT that I've created, we can go to Data Navigator real quick. I'll hit Edit GPT and then head to Configure. The instructions are right here. This is what the GPT acts on. This is what the GPT does, how it behaves, how it responds, what it should avoid doing. It's where it gathers its opinions, its instructions. This is basically the back end of the GPT, and it's a system on how things are running. So these are very important. And right now we're creating solutions in order to get a base level of instructions. And this is all going to come together in the future, but right now we're generating those solutions in order to get those instructions. So through all 10 of these solutions for a focus enhancer, I think one that would be very unique is stress and anxiety management tools. And then it gives a little description. Since stress and anxiety can greatly affect concentration, offer tools and techniques for managing these, such as breathing exercises, stress reduction routines, and advice on maintaining a work-life balance. I think this will be great. So now that I have my solution picked out, my stress and anxiety management tools and techniques solution in order to enhance focus, I can then get into developing these instructions based on that solution. So developing instructions is a long process, and throughout this process, I want you to keep in mind that ChatGPT may not be able to give you exactly what you want when generating these instructions. That's why I said it's important to have an open mind, and you have to be able to be creative. You can't have a robot generate all of your ideas for you, but it gives you such a good foundation for a good GPT that will sell. But implementing your own creativity is what's really going to make the difference. So when I'm building this, I might be interchanging things. It might seem a little confusing, but use the prompt that I've provided in order to give you the foundation and implement ideas that you think other people would really want out of this GPT. Try to develop good ideas and good routines that this GPT can be used by that users will actually find helpful. That's the goal here, And I'm going to send off this prompt in order to generate instructions, but I wanted to throw this in here as a little disclaimer that I will be changing around the instructions in order to make the GPT successful. I might even be changing around the prompt, but this prompt gives a good foundation in order to generate the custom instructions. I'll show you that now. So like I said, I've selected the stress and anxiety management tool, and this is what I'm going to be using as my GPT. It's going to be a stress level GPT in order to help maintain, offer tools and techniques and stress reduction routines in order to maintain that good work-life balance. So I'm going to head over to my Google Doc, and I'm going to go to the second prompt within creating unique solutions. This created the base solutions, but now we need to create the actual instructions. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit so I can copy this entire prompt, and I'm going to click and drag and copy this entire prompt. And what we're going to do is we're going to head back over to ChatGPT, remaining in the same chat thread, and then we are going to paste in that prompt. Now, as you were looking at this prompt, you may have noticed this yellow section where we need to paste in something, paste in or input our own information. And you could even start here, actually. If you have a solution that you want to build a GPT around, this prompt is going to help you create custom instructions around that GPT. So we're going to scroll up within our prompt bar and find that bracketed information right up here. And we're going to delete that bracketed information. And now we're going to paste in the solution that we found. So just like we pasted in our problem that we found up here, our focus enhancer, into that first prompt, now we want to find the solution that we want and paste in that solution within the prompt. So I'm going to paste in stress and anxiety, the entire thing right there. So now ChatGPT knows what I want to create my GPT based on and how I want the solution. And then you can read this prompt if you'd like. This is a very custom prompt in order to create a successful custom instructions on GPTs. And then I have an example down here of one of my GPTs that I've created that I thought was very successful. So now once I have that information input up top, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send off this message within the same chat thread. I'm going to keep stressing that because it's very important you do this within the same chat thread. Just like that, it gives an extensive interactive instruction list that we can just copy and paste into our GPT once we begin creating it. And this is a great foundation. There are some things I'm going to take out. There are some things that I'm going to add, but this would have taken a long time to think of. And ChatGPT does a wonderful job at providing that unique solution based on the solution that we selected through these custom instructions. So now we can move on to step 3. And again, we can edit these instructions a little bit later, but we have a good foundation and we can just move on to the next step. When we actually create the GPT and implement all of these things together, then we can start to refine it and we can start to manipulate it and test it out and then change some instructions after we test. And all that will happen, but right now we're trying to get a base foundational level GPT off the ground. So next, what we need to do is we need to create the name, description, and profile photo. And this prompt is very simple. It's something that's going to get you a unique name, a unique description. Actually, not a unique description, an accurate description, because that's something that ChatGPT is looking for within the GPT Store, and also what other users are looking for. They want an accurate description of what does your GPT do. It's important to not be fluffy about this and to not use a bunch of fancy verbiage. Just describe exactly what your GPT does so that the user knows what it's getting into when selecting it. So it's a very simple prompt. It's also going to generate 3 profile photo options for us that will be good to use for this GPT. And you will see that once we copy and paste it into ChatGPT. And again, we're in the same chat thread. I'm just going to paste in that message and send it off just like that. Very quick, very easy. And then it's going to give us names, descriptions, and also profile photos for our GPT. And this is why I like doing the profile, name, and photo after, because now look at all of this information ChatGPT has in this chat thread for our GPT. If we would have generated the title, description, and picture first, it wouldn't have had all of this information to go off of and all of this stuff that's now learned about the GPT we want to create. So now it's creating names and descriptions based on our unique GPT. As you can see, it's generated 10 unique names. It's generated 10 unique descriptions. And I know these descriptions and names are kind of lining up with each other. You can use it like that, but you can also mix and match these names and descriptions as well. As you can see, it generated 1 image, and then the other 2 images it said not shown due to technical constraints. That's just because I believe ChatGPT ran out of its token limit. So I can say, generate the other 2 images now, and ChatGPT will get into generating those other 2 images. But the first image is actually pretty cool. I like how it combined the image in thirds with a little meditation AI robot in the middle. Very cool, very Zen-like. This is something we could use by hitting the download button right here. But let's take a look at these other two profile photos that it's generating. I really like that one. And the third one's all right, but I really like the second one the best. So that's the one I'm actually going to hit download on, and it will download to my computer. As you can see, I have this image going into my downloads, so we'll be able to use that later. Now we can actually put this GPT together. So I'm going to go and create a GPT and start adding all the information in that we've got generated from ChatGPT. Then we can start refining the instructions around, generating some other solutions, some conversation starters. I'll touch on adding actions and uploading knowledge as well. Then we will get into verifying your profile. That way you can publicly upload this GPT for other people to use. Finally, we'll publish the GPT and then we will celebrate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this tab open on my computer, and then I'm going to right click it and hit duplicate. That way I can have two tabs open for ChatGPT. This tab, what I can do is I can go back and I can copy and paste things from. And in this tab, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my sidebar. I'm going to go down to my profile in the bottom left-hand corner, and then I'm going to select the button where it says My GPTs. After I select My GPTs, it will take me to the screen where I have the ability to create a GPT, and that's exactly what we're doing in this video. So I'm going to select Create a GPT. And what you're going to notice here is the basic GPT builder where all of the newcomers are going to be. This is where everyone's going to be making their GPT, going with the GPT builder, and it does an okay job at getting you a nice foundation, a little bit of a profile picture, but it's not taking all of our needs into mind in order to make a GPT that's going to sell. Everybody is using this, and not everybody will make money with their GPT. So it's important to not follow that general crowd, because it's something that if everyone's doing it, everyone can't make money, right? So using the unique solution as I've provided in this video is already going to put you ahead of the other people making GPTs. So we get the glory of skipping over the create section and going straight to configure. And when you look at this, we need a name, a description, instructions, and a profile photo, all of which we already have generated. So first I'm going to upload my photo that I downloaded from earlier. I'm going to select my profile photo and hit upload photo. And then I just uploaded that image from my desktop. So now we have this little AI robot meditating. And now we get to name our GPT. So I'm going to go back to my other tab, and I'm going to find a name that I like. I like the name Anxiety Ally. I think that describes what our GPT is doing. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to put a space in between that. I think that looks a little cleaner. So now we have our AI Anxiety Ally. For the description, I can go back and I can look at what Anxiety Ally says. For the description, your ally against anxiety, AI-powered techniques for stress relief. I think that sounds amazing, and it's truth. That's what our GPT is. AI techniques for stress relief. And it's something that people might catch their eye to. They might say, AI-powered techniques for stress relief, right? Stress is something that everybody deals with and everybody goes through. But we are now entering an AI wave, an AI revolution, if you would. So when people see AI-powered techniques, this is something that is new, something that is exciting, and it's something that people would be more inclined to click on, so that's why I'm going to use that description. So now we have a good base. We have our image, our GPT name, and also our GPT description. Beautiful. Now we get to the fun but intimidating part, the instructions. But it's not so intimidating when you use my prompts, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to include the technical notes. I'm just going to stop at session conclusion, and then I'm going to copy and paste this all the way up to the initial steps. So we have initial setup. I'm going to hit Control C. What you can also do is you can right click and hit copy as well. I'm going to head over to my other tab, and then I'm going to open up my instructions using this little arrow to expand that box. And now I'm going to paste them in. And when you look at that, we have a decent setup for our GPT when it comes to instructions. We have a system that ChatGPT built in order to help users with their stress levels. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through here and review some things that I know I do not want in the GPT. So I've gotten rid of some of the information I don't want in here, but as you can see, things like this. It says, ask the user to describe their current level of stress or anxiety on a scale of 1 to 10. How do we know that 1 doesn't mean super stressed out and 10 means I'm feeling great, right? We don't. So that's what I'm going to include in the instructions. I just said something as simple as make sure the user understands that 10 means highly stressed and 1 means not stressed at all. So I've went through here and I've lightly refined and edit this GPT's instructions. So now I can just hit close. That will save automatically. And I'm going to add in something that I like to do a lot. Now, this is something unique that I've come up with for my GPTs, and I'm not sure if other users have utilized this, but I think it's a great way for users to easily interact with your GPT. And that's by providing a conversation starter. And I like to think of conversation starters like conditional logic. So you can add 4 conversation starters. And a conversation starter, if you don't know, I'll show you real quick. I'm going to duplicate this tab for ChatGPT. I'm going to head back to the home page. And these 4 things down here are conversation starters. So what you can do in your custom instructions is you can tell your GPT, based on a certain conversation starter they pick, go through a different set of steps. Now, keep in mind you have an 8,000 character limit, so you might have to limit your systems, but what I like to do is I like to think of these conversation starters like activation commands, making it so the user doesn't even have to type in a prompt. All they have to do is click a button, making it very easy to use. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I can have a conversation starter saying, I'm feeling stressed, with a period. And now, as you can see, that will populate in the bottom right, so all we have to do is select I'm feeling stressed. Then I want Anxiety Ally to run through all of these steps after the user selects this activation command. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, when user inputs, I'm feeling stressed, run this protocol. I'm going to spell protocol right. And now this little line adds a lot of ease of use to your GPT when it's combined with this conversation starter. So now all the user has to do in order to get started is select I'm feeling stressed, and when they send it off, as you can see, Anxiety Ally is going to start to run through these steps and run through the greeting and purpose explanation. And now it's going through the stress levels, also the diagnosis of why the user is feeling stressed. So already we are looking very good. Now, testing and refining your instructions is going to be very subjective. There's not one way you can do things and one way that instructions will work good. But it's important to test out your GPT and to continue running through your protocol to make sure it's exactly how you want it. Now, I wish I could help every solution for every problem and teach you how to build a good GPT around that. But that's something that you are going to have to get creative for and that you're going to have to test and figure out. What you have, though, is a great foundation, a name, a good description, a profile picture, and some instructions that will get you off the ground. Let's dive into some other things that you can change about your GPT. The first thing that you can do is you can add different knowledge for your GPT, and this allows you to upload certain files. And files are things like PDFs or Excel sheets or CSV files or any other file that can be interpreted with Code Interpreter, ChatGPT's code interpreter that allows ChatGPT to analyze data and run code. Now, knowledge, I'm not going to upload any knowledge for this GPT in specific. ChatGPT can analyze this knowledge and use it in conjunction with your instructions and your conversation starters and everything else within your GPT. It's kind of like a knowledge database where ChatGPT has more information to gain through the files that you upload. Now, I go over that completely in my course, along with actions, which I will not get into today. So if you do want to go more in depth on uploading knowledge and uploading actions and how this works, I highly recommend the ChatGPT Mastery course, which I mentioned in the beginning of this video. These will really make your GPT stand apart, but in this video, I just don't have time. Also, you get the ability to upload certain functionalities that your GPT can use. Now, I always activate everything because I believe that when you are using a GPT or when a user has GPT-4 and they're utilizing this, they're going to be able to want the ability to upload files. They'll want the ability to do images and web browsing. Having these not activated, in my opinion, just limits your GPT's capability. So I always activate every single capability. I don't see why not. And again, actions, as I went over, allow you to make API calls. And API calls are basically two softwares that can communicate with one another so that if you send off a certain message in ChatGPT, that can call that API, such as a weather API or a Zapier action API that allows you to run certain commands on Google. You can create Google Docs from ChatGPT, as I was showing in my course. You can pull location data, and you can do so much with actions, but you get kind of in the weeds. But you also have to upload privacy policies and do a lot of other stuff in order to make your GPT public. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm just saying that's the reality of it, and it makes sense why. There's a lot more that's involved when adding actions into your GPT. Now what I'm going to do after I have my knowledge uploaded, after I have my actions done, after I have all my instructions refined and tested, again, you can test using this preview section over here on the right. You can keep testing and then refining instructions and test again. Something very important to keep in mind, something very important to do if you're uploading your GPT to public. You want to make sure it's running the exact way you want it to. So you can do all that. Then right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit save only to me. I'm going to show you how to save to everyone in a second after I verify my builder profile. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit confirm. And this is going to save my GPT to only me right now. And then we're going to get into the builder profile. So we have our nice Anxiety Ally here Very cute, very nice. We can hit, I'm feeling stressed, we can go through the protocol, and it works. But now let's upload and verify our builder profile. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my sidebar, and then I'm going to go to the bottom left-hand corner on my name. I'm going to select my name and then hit settings in beta. And then I'm going to go to builder profile in the last tab of settings. Activate and update your information. So I can activate my website here. So when people click on my name, it takes them to my website. And what you're going to have to do is you're actually going to have to verify your domain if you want your name on there. But the important step is getting your name populated from your billing details and kind of verifying your profile. And it's important to keep in mind that these settings apply publicly to your shared GPTs. And it's very simple to set up your builder profile. All you have to do is get your name and your website verified. If you do want your website on there, that is optional. And once you have everything with your builder profile verified and you're ready to go, then it's time to actually publish your GPT. This is a very exciting part, the moment we've all been waiting for. So I'm going to go to my profile down here in the bottom left, select my GPTs, and then I'm going to find the GPT that I created, Anxiety Ally. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select this Edit GPT button, and once I go to Edit GPT, I'll be back to the edit screen where you have the ability to edit your GPT, upload files, conversation starters, etc. And then I'm going to go to the top right-hand corner and select Everyone. And here's where we get to select our category. And remember, we made the prompts custom so that it fit in one of the 7 good categories that ChatGPT had to offer. We're not trying to fit into the other category. You don't want to fall in the other category, in my opinion. You want to fall in one of the main categories because these are the problems that people are using ChatGPT for most. And if you remember right, we fell in the productivity category, so that's the one we can select. Make sure you have everyone selected, and then we can get into hitting confirm and do our celebration, because right now we're confirming our ChatGPT and we're putting it online, public. If you've been following along, congratulations. Let's start making some money. I'm going to hit confirm, and just like that, we are getting the GPT confirmed, just like that. So now it's published. I can hit view GPT, and it's ready. Buy aifoundations.io. Go to my website, purchase some of my products. If you haven't purchased any of my products, I highly recommend it. So the next important part is actually growing your GPT, and I just want to briefly touch on this because there are going to be so many people. There are already 3 million GPTs that are already created and in circulation, probably even more. That was at the time of the update. Thousands and thousands of GPTs are being created daily. So how are you going to stand out? Well, you need more initial traffic than the rest of the crowd. The rest of the crowd is not getting any traffic to their GPTs. They're uploading them, praying, hoping, and waiting to see if ChatGPT will recognize them. Newsflash, they won't. Get some initial traffic to your GPT. You can do that through social media. If you have Facebook, upload your GPT to Facebook, right? Share the link. Say, try out my GPT. That will get some initial traffic. If you have Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, whatever you have, upload your GPT, let people try it out. And you can offer it for free because eventually, after enough engagement, ChatGPT might recognize you a little bit more than those who aren't getting any interaction. That's the goal. And that's why I love my ChatGPT Mastery group, as I've been saying throughout this video, because we now have the ability to help each other out. There's nearly 300 people at the time of recording this video. I'm sure there's probably even more when you join. We have this social syndicate, a group of people where we can view each other's GPTs, a huge advantage in the market. So if you want to be a part of that, you want to share your GPT to a group of ChatGPT lovers, then I highly recommend joining the course, which I will leave in the description or the top pinned comment below. With that being said, I'm just going to quickly tap into the essential requirements to building a successful GPT. 1, find a popular problem within the 7 categories that people are using ChatGPT for. Number 2, find that unique solution that nobody is doing and generate instructions from that unique solution using my prompt sequence. Number 3, generate an amazing title, description, and profile picture using the prompt that I've given you as well. And then number 4, test and publish your GPT. All of this stuff and the prompts that I've generated had you ladies and gentlemen in mind. I want you to make money with these GPTs. And I spent a lot of my own time prompting and providing a prompt template or multiple prompt templates for you to use for absolutely free because I want you to succeed and I genuinely care. And I actually want you to make money because it's so exciting that ChatGPT has this to offer. And we can build it using ChatGPT. That's the amazing thing. So with that being said, that's all I have for this video. If you want to see more content like this and you want to continue growing and making money with ChatGPT or just learning how to use ChatGPT in general, then hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you always get notified when a new video comes. Drop a like and comment your feedback below. I would highly appreciate it. And with that being said, I will see you in the next video.